happen here in the first quarter. Suffocating at times.
Alex Caruso on the floor for Oklahoma City. Another one of the big pieces.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of the Bring the Thunder podcast, a Thunder podcast for fans by fans. Today, we're just going to kind of go over several topics that we have here, starting with our introductions here. So I'll go first. My name's Gabe. I'm a pretty dedicated Thunder fan, have been pretty much all my life. So just enjoyed the good old Kevin Durant, Westbrook days, but, you know, those are gone and we're still here. So we'll go ahead and move on to Jack over here.
I'm Jack. I run the Thunder coverage on Instagram for about 2 years now. I'm a Thunder fan because of Steven Adams. That excuses my accent, but that's about it. Yeah.
Hello there. My name's Landon, and I run Thunder Fan Zone. I've been running it for a few years. My story is pretty self-explanatory. I was born and raised in Oklahoma City. My childhood consisted of the Russ Harden and KD days, so it's a pretty easy decision on what team to root for, and I've just been a Thunder fan since then.
My name's Joe. I've been an OKC fan diehard since I can remember. First days remembering actually was our first playoff series as the 8 seed against Kobe and the Lakers, where we got we got pretty messed up, but I really became a fan then, and I've been diehard ever since. Every game is, when we win, it's heaven. When we lose, it's hell. So, just keep winning. That's all I'm asking for.
Joey, born and raised in Oklahoma, Eastern Oklahoma, out in the middle of cow fields and whatnot, and been a Thunder fan my whole life ever since I've been here. Really, when I really got on was the 2020 playoff series against the Rockets, and watching that, and we were so close to winning that. Watching how hard they fought and everything like that it was a great series, and that's when I really got hooked.
Yeah, good stuff. Just kind of little introduction there for you guys, just getting to know some of the members here. I will add, we might switch out members here and there. We got some other guys that could be here, but today you're here with us 5. So after that, we're going to get into kind of our first topic, which is just a simple get to know us, top 5 favorite Thunder players, just kind of all time. So I'll go ahead and kick off the list here. Should we start from 5 or 1? What are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking 5. Start from 5. Yeah.
Start from 5. All right. Coming in at 5. This is kind of a crazy one. This makes no sense. Nick Collison, Mr. Thunder. I don't know, man. Just love the guy. There's no reason for it. It was just kind of like I just loved the guy. I don't know. He's just always had a good thing with Nick Collison.
Well, that is Mr. Thunder, so
that's what I'm saying. It's Mr. Thunder. Like, it just made sense. Coming in at 4, this one might be a little controversial. Paul George, man, I just loved him. I love the player. One of my favorite players in general. I loved him before we traded for him. I remember when we traded for him, I was hanging out with my buddy, and it was one of the craziest moments of my life, just checking my phone. I was like, there's no way we just got one of my favorite players. So loved his time here. Sucked the way he went out, but also couldn't have been better for us. So coming in at 3 already, we got J-Dub. Just the off-court personality is like the most like attractive like type of player I've ever seen. I mean, I just want to be a fan of a guy like Jalen Williams. He just makes you enjoy the fan base. Coming in at 2, our current GOAT, SGA. Love that man. I always will. And then number 1, of course, Russell Westbrook. The reason I'm a basketball fan. I mean, not just Thunder, but the reason it's my favorite sport of all time. So Westbrook.
So I see that you might have left somebody off that list.
Let's hear it.
Somebody pretty popular that might have been the number 1 option for OKC not too long ago. But I'll mention him in my top 5 here.
I'll let you go there, but we'll have Jack go ahead and drop his here now. So let's hear it, Jack.
All right. So number 5, there's no explanation, but Terrence Ferguson for his brief stint in OKC, really athletic, just highlight player. Number 4, I got Aaron Wiggins. So fun to watch, just the way he plays, saves basketball.
Saves best.
Then I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously. I mean, he's turned this franchise around, just really good at the game. Then number 2, I have Russell Westbrook, of course. He's got to be in your top 5. Yeah, just the reason we're all fans, really. And then number 1, Steven Adams, the reason I'm a fan, the reason OKC Thunder means something in New Zealand. So
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Landon.
Right. At number 5, we have a little recency bias here. Big Carl himself. Give me Brandon Carlson.
No way. No way.
Favorite player on the team right now. I'm hoping for a regular contract for him. I want the guy to stay an Oklahoma City Thunder player.
Adam Flagler can get one. Come on.
At number 4, I've got Dennis Schroeder. I liked his motor when he was on the court. He's always hustling around. At number 3, I have Shai for obvious reasons. He's the cornerstone. At number 2, I have Steven Adams. His energy on the court was contagious. He had quite the personality off the court. Can't really go wrong with that pick. I mean, everyone loved the Stash Bros. And number 1 would have to be Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's the reason I'm a Thunder fan. He started my Thunder fandom. You can see the jerseys in the back. I mean, self-explanatory.
For sure.
All right. So, again, all 3 of you guys have left out somebody, but maybe I'll mention them in this list just because I have to. At number 5, you just mentioned the Stash Bros. There was not a better time than when we traded for Enes Kanter. When we traded for Enes Kanter and he came in, originally just playing with Russ, I believe KD was out. Game changer. Like, dude was balling for OKC. I remember the first game I watched him in Charlotte. They just clicked right away. Enes Kanter at number 5, I will stand by that forever. There are going to be players I leave out of here, by the way. At number 4, I got to go with Dub, Jalen Williams. The way I see him, his energy, you can't be at Russ level to me, but he is the second coming. You'll see him during game, monster block, monster dunk, yelling at the crowd. That's the energy that OKC thrives off, and they need it. Here we go at number 3. I have to pay the guy his respect, Kevin Durant. I just have to. We grew up watching him. He was our guy. He was the best player on the team for a long time. I know he stabbed us in our hearts and in our back, but you cannot argue that this guy was Oklahoma City for the time being. That he brought us to the finals. He was our guy. He grew up with us. Sorry. At number 2, I got SGA. I mean, he is our. I'm not going to say that actually. I was going to say he is our new KD, but he's not leaving us like KD did. But he is our new number 1. Dude's the best in the league, in my opinion. I mean, he's just so awesome to watch. It's not Russell. It's more smooth. Get to your spot, pull up, post game, improving the 3-point shot. Great defense, steals, blocks. I mean, this guy is everything you could want in a basketball player, and he seems to be a great person as well, So go with SGA at 2, and number 1, got to go with Russell Westbrook. Speaking for myself here, I'm pretty sure you guys all agree, but he brought me to become an OKC fan. The energy that Russ had on the court, I don't think we'll ever see it again. It was Chesapeake Arena when he was playing there. The crowd pops that he would bring in a playoff game, in a regular season game, the energy, you will never experience that again. So Russ number 1, and then that's my list.
There you go. Yeah.
Almost a good list.
Yeah, right. Mine will be better. Don't worry. Honorable mention will be Steve Adams. Got to give him his props. His honorable mention. Number 5. He's a little newer guy, but man, he's the next Lou Dort, Cason Wallace. He's a dog. He gets in there, he does the dirty work, he gets things done. 4, Dennis Schroeder. His run here, it was that even in the playoffs and stuff. I mean, it was what was it, 3-4 years about that? Maybe a little bit less, but he would go average 15 to 20 points a game. He'd get out there, he was a bucket. 3, gotta say Shea. No, he's Mr. Aura himself. You just can't deny the greatness. He's the next Russ, in my opinion. Just his longevity here. He's gonna finish the job and bring a championship one day. 2nd, love the play style, love the hustle, love everything about him. He's a dog, Lou Dort. Man, that guy goes out there and gives us all every game. You gotta love it. Number 1, of course, Russell Westbrook. I mean, come on. No, nothing needed. No explanation needed.
Nothing needed. Well said.
I do love the Lou Dort pick. Lou Dort just
that's
embodies OKC Thunder basketball.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Did we all go with Russ at 1? Is that what we just did?
I went 2, but
Yeah,
Oh well, yeah.
but he has the tie-in with Steven.
Right,
so,
right,
you know.
right.
excusable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You know, Joe, I will say this about the Kevin Durant. I will say this. I understand what he did for this team. I will be
Listen.
delusionally upset for the rest of my life, and I will never give him credit for anything.
It's just,
What
it's
about
just
what he didn't do though?
if you're putting your top 5, I know how much we dislike the guy, but you have to put him in. You have to. That's it.
maybe top 5 best players, but these are my favorite players here.
Yeah,
Just-
these are
just-
just the favorite list. But
Just
ain't
think
my
about the
favorite.
time when he was on your team. Was he your favorite player or second?
That doesn't matter, Joe. What matters is what he did.
It's 2025.
Yeah. No, I'm just playing. I get it for sure. It makes sense, but there's no way you're not gonna catch me putting him.
All right, I'll replace him with Adam Flagler then.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I'd KD put KD back in there. I don't care. You know what?
That's good.
All right.
I mean,
Yep. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up that little segment, and now we'll get to the less fun, dreadful part here, where we discuss the Mavericks game last night that might not have gone as well as we all wanted. So, who kind of wants to kick us off here with their thoughts?
I'd like to say something first.
Let's hear it, Joey.
I'd like to say it wasn't going that bad. It was looking pretty good. J-Dub had a good run. But, man, Lou Dort, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? I get it. It's basketball. And I'm not saying whether it was on purpose or accident, but everybody knows the screening position you're supposed to be in. And if you're not in that screening position, whether you're in high school or college or NBA, somebody's going to, test you, see if you're prepared. That's what. Whether he did it on purpose or not, I don't know, but that's what he did. It was not the best decision. I think it would have been a lot closer of a game. That and Alex Caruso is a veteran. I know we were down 4, but come on, you got to have that, man. You cannot drop. We had a chance right there. We're down 4. That was an easy layup. Possible foul. They were on him. They were jumping on him. Possible foul. You cannot drop that, man. That's not something you can do.
No.
That's my 2 main takeaways from the game and the reason we lost, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you make a really good point with Dort. It's unfortunate, and it's not like we all turn our backs on the guy, but that just felt like it just wasn't a high IQ play. It wasn't necessary, and it definitely cost us the game. My biggest takeaway, we don't like the guy, but there's no world where PJ Washington should have 19 rebounds. That is absurd. Did
they take one away? He had 20 at one point. Did they?
I think he ended with 19, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it was 20. I just know he
finished
had 19.
22 and 19 last night.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. There's no world where that man should be picking up that many rebounds. I don't care if we don't have a center in or not. If it was like Gafford, okay, I get it. He's big. He's a center. PJ Washington is the same. He's smaller than J. Will. J. Will is heavier. J. Will's stronger. I mean, there's just no world where we give up those rebounds. I felt like I was watching OKC again last year, where I'm getting mad because we can't get a rebound, And, on one hand, we don't have our centers, and I get that. Like, that sucks, but that was inexcusable.
And to capitalize on that, he would get rebounds, and then it would set our defense out of position. They would get open threes around the perimeter,
Yep.
and that's what kind of hosed us all game is their open threes. I
Mhm.
mean, if I see one more Maxi Kleber three, I might just
Brian, wasn't that the other guy that was hitting too?
Not just we got cooked by Spencer Dinwiddie, bro. Like, come on,
last
dude.
game too, fourth quarter of the last game we
He had 28 points, I believe, is what he finished with.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, Dinwiddie 28
ridiculous.
points on 11 of 14. So
I mean, yeah.
78 field goal. Yeah.
I mean, he can have a good game, but like that wasn't him hitting all these tough shots. That was him hitting the shots we gave him. I mean,
Right.
we were not playing good defense. That did not look like Oklahoma City defense.
I'd like to carry off of that because that's something I really wanted to focus on here is, we've been known for our defense this season. I know Chet and Hartenstein are great bigs and great defenders, so they're out, but our guards are our strong part as well. Kaysen's a great defender. Lou, obviously, everyone knows he's top one, top two defender in the league. Their guards were cooking us. We had no answer for him last night. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, it was just a terrible defensive showing. I don't want to overreact because yes, it's been one game, and yes, we've had like historic defensive rating this year. But last night, no excuse. I also didn't enjoy our bench production. Love Wiggs. I mean, I need more minutes from him, but 0 for 6 from 3 is just not that it's not going to cut it. I think Shea and Dub did their thing, 31, 33. Relatively efficient. Shea not as efficient as normal, but they did their thing. It's really just PJ turns up against OKC, and we just need our bigs back, I guess. But I mean,
I think we didn't even do a bad job on PJ. He shot 37% from the field, so we can live with that. But the problem is Spencer Dinwiddie scoring 28 on 78% from the field. Like, if you're going to give up, force the ball out of Kyrie and PJ's hand,
right.
But then you can't stop there. You can't relax when they don't have the ball just because they're the ones who kill us, and then let Spencer Dinwiddie, Quentin Grimes, Daniel Gafford kill us. But I feel like having Shed and iHeart back will help with that a lot because we can rely on them. So no paint buckets, which is where a lot of Spencer Dinwiddie's came. Just no rim protection, really, because we had Jay Will. So I don't think it's all bad, but the way our defense works is when we rotate really well and force the ball out of the Stars' hands into the role players. The role players capitalize on the late rotation because we're sprinting out to the three, then they drive past, but then Shet's there to block them or iHeart's there and they can't get a shot off. And that's when we look really good. But obviously without them. So that's why I'm not too fazed by it. Obviously, I'm pissed off by the Mavs beating us, but yeah, we could be in a worse spot this season.
I'd also just like to add one more thing, offensively. I'm watching the game, and there's a point where, listen, he's a great player for us. Cason Wallace should not have the same amount of shots. When field goal attempts, he had 9, Dub had like 5. I know Dub finished with 9 more shots as he should, but I don't think Cason Wallace should be getting those early often looks. I mean, he had 9 shots compared to 5 for Dub. Shea only had like 9 shots as well. I feel like those are wasted possessions. Not that he's, like he can create and he can knock down threes, but early in the game when it's tight, you got to go to your best players. And Kaysen shooting the most times you're not going to win that way.
Right. I mean, I don't mean to pick on any specific player here either, but one thing that I just don't get is when we're in these close games, these tough fourth quarters, I don't understand the choice to put Kenrich Williams in. I don't think he's built for the fourth quarter. He just stuffs it up. And my biggest issue with him is I feel like he thinks he's trying to prove something. I mean, he takes these shots that are like he's trying to prove that he's this valuable scorer. And I don't love the guy, but I don't dislike the guy either. Like, I don't want to fully just cut him, but he provides hustle, he provides defense, he can score. But when you're in a game like that, there is almost any player I'd almost rather have in right now than him. He just cannot come into those fourth quarters, and he played for the whole first bit of the fourth quarter last night. And I felt like immediately we started to lose and started to shift kind of the little bit of momentum that J-Dub had been building. And even though he shot okay, I mean, he was 2 for 4, 1 for 3 from 3, like that's not bad, but it just feels, he just stuffs it up to me. I just don't love having Kenny on the court in those moments.
And when Caruso was on the court, he was bringing a contagious energy. I feel like when Caruso comes in, everyone feeds off his energy because he just plays with a lot of heart. Like
Mhm.
he is, he is the heart of
Yeah.
the team when he's in.
Well,
Mhm.
he
the
had
second
a
highest plus minus at
yeah
plus
plus
12
12,
also.
plus
Yeah.
12, and Kaysen was minus 22. So I think Mark has to see that during the game
Mhm.
flow, just adjust. That's it.
Mhm.
We could have easily won that game last night. There's no reason we shouldn't have. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely agree. I also kind of on the bright side, I'd like to point out how good Jay Will has been for us since coming back, man. He has just been solid. I mean, it's so nice having him back. I know he's not our starter. He'll sometimes be a backup, his minutes are going to drop, but he has been really just pretty solid. I mean, I kind of got on him earlier for lacking on the rebounds, but his shooting, I he has made a three in every game but one since returning. I mean, we need to give some kind of credit to that for a team that's known as a inconsistent 3-point shooting team a bit. So Jay Will, I mean, big props to him in that game. I thought he really set the tone with those. He had like 2 or 3 early threes. I mean, really set the tone, and I really appreciated that. But uh, in terms of the starters, I kind of agree with with Joe about the whole Kaysen thing. I just defensively, I love the guy. Absolutely. Offensively, he's got to grow. I really think there's room for him to grow. He's had a good season so far, but there's room for him to grow and room for him to understand like there are shots he shouldn't be taking. And I think you talked about that, Joe, specifically with him taking more
yeah,
shots than J Dub at times.
I just think that there's no need. Come at me if I'm wrong, please. I just don't think unless you're playing a backcourt of Steph and Clay, you don't need Lou and Kaysen on in at the same time. That ruins our offense. It does.
No, yeah, no, I definitely get it
You're
for
acting
sure.
like Wiggins or Caruso. Okay, Caruso's a better offensive player than Kaysen, in my opinion. And you have Kaysen in, you could have Wiggs hitting threes. I know he didn't last night, or Caruso. Like I
Hmm.
just don't understand it. I don't think
Hmm.
they should be on the floor at the same time. I don't.
No, yeah, I agree. I think Caruso is an incredibly underrated player because people look at his stats and it's just not enough. He is the biggest off the stat sheet player I have ever seen in my years of watching NBA
Yeah.
basketball. He changes every single play. His hustle, his determination, the steal that he got on Kyrie, that totally switched thing. I mean, that got the entire game switch momentum all of a sudden. I mean,
Yep.
I think it was, yeah, Landon, you're the one that said he is the heart. I mean, that's you need that badly. So when you have to look at, do we put in Kaysen, do we put in Caruso in the big moment? I don't see why Caruso's not getting some of those nods here and there. And same thing, especially when you look at it, not to dog on him again, but especially when you're looking at Keinrich, like I just don't see a world where he should be getting minutes over, other than okay, maybe we're trying to like make up for size because he had 4 rebounds, but I'd almost rather if we put Carlson back in instead of only giving him 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
tall
Yeah.
Carlson, he can fight for rebounds. It doesn't make sense. Kenny's providing hustle. Okay, Caruso hustles harder. Kenny provides shooting. Okay, Caruso shoots better. Kenny provides rebounding. Carlson rebounds better. Why is it just doesn't make sense to me why we see certain players getting minutes, and that's just part of Mark having to understand we're literally the problem is we're suffering from success. We're too deep. We have too many
Yep.
players that Mark wants to play. And it's kind of like we just gotta as fans, we gotta sit back and trust him.
The Brandon
Yeah.
Carlson thing's just a whole other thing, also, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just not this game specifically, but it's the last few games where he gets minutes and it's
Mhm.
great. And he goes in there and he knocks down a 3-pointer, which is great. But he averages like 5 minutes per game the last few games. We're without a big. He's getting more play time because we don't have a big. We have
Mhm.
him on a 10-day contract. We gave him another 10-day contract. He came up in that. What was that team we played? He knocked down those 2 big threes. Who was that?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah, he knocked
It
down those two
totally,
big threes.
yeah.
Completely changed everything. That's
Hmm.
when everything started. And
Hmm.
he goes in there for his 3, 4, 5 minutes a game. He knocks down big threes, gets a block or so, and then they take him out and they don't put him back in. With this limited big man lineup, they don't make sense. You're not allowing
Not
him
at
to
all.
try to shoot more than one. You're not allowing him to get hot.
No.
I mean, he hasn't been given the time to get hot.
Hmm.
Technically, he got 3 shots that one game against Cleveland, hit 2 of them. He's a high percentage 3-point shooter in the corner. obviously. I know he's not the greatest on defense, but he gets up at the rim. He's tall. He can stop some guards. He can't battle with the big men probably because they're a little bit bigger than him, but he can stop some guards. So I think they need to test him out a little bit more, especially in a game like last night. And I don't know why he wasn't in when Jay Will was out. It doesn't really make sense. He got 4 minutes, I think it was, and he knocked down a three.
Yeah,
Of course he
four
That's
minutes,
what he
1 for
does.
1. Yep.
They leave him there. They don't think about him. And he didn't have any rebounds or assists, but 4 minutes is 4 minutes. He was +6. I don't know what else really.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Joey. I absolutely agree. Last night, I will say, he had 3 personal fouls in 4 minutes.
That is true.
That's really questionable. But
That
here's my
Warren
thing.
Gafford, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, here's my thing though. As a player like that who's less experienced, he's younger. He's not going to get any better if he doesn't get minutes. So he can't learn to not foul. He can't learn to be better at defense. He just gets to get thrown in, get a couple momentum shots, and then get sent back. So it's just frustrating.
And this is the most minutes he's going to be getting until Hart and Chet comes back. Once they come back,
oh, he's done.
It's bye-bye to the end of the bench with Adam Flagler, buddy.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's really what it's going to be. So they need to try him out now. Get him hot. And see what he can do when he gets hot.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that Kenrich Williams deserves 14 minutes a game, 2.3 3-point attempts on 37 for field goal 3-point percent. Then we're only playing Carlson for 6 minutes a game, and he's shooting 43% for 3 on 2 attempts as well. So
exactly,
it just give him the chance, really. After that Cavs game, I would have thought he'd be in the rotation completely, but it's kind of frustrating to see, really.
It is for sure. Joey was the one talking about it. Those 2 threes he hit in that Cavs game literally started the blowout run. The momentum that was built from those threes that he hit was crazy. Because you got this young guy who comes in on a 10-day contract. You're playing the best team in the league. He steps in, second best team in the league. He steps in, hits these 2 huge threes, and all of a sudden the whole team's amped up. That if that's not earning playtime, I don't know what is. So I don't want to yell at Mark and get mad at Mark and blame Mark, but he's got to get a little more experimental with these lineups. And a big part of that is understanding what Kendrick doesn't need these consistent minutes. Just certain players like Dylan Jones gets 3 times as many minutes as Carlson last night. Why? That makes zero sense. He's shown nothing. He's shown that, okay, yeah. Okay, maybe he's got some potential, sure. Carlson's literally capitalized on potential, hit threes, played good with his minutes, and we're giving triple the amount of minutes to our rookie that we haven't seen anything from. That's frustrating. So
actually we have seen a few things, but it hasn't been any good. So
exactly. Exactly. So you don't want to call out Mark, because don't get me wrong, I love Mark. The things he's done for this team, great coach. I love Mark. The subbing, he's got to figure it out. The rotations are, everything else, I feel like he's literally, there's a reason he won Coach of the Year last year. He coached that team. Sure, we had everything go our way, but he coached that team as well. He's a good coach. He's a great challenger. He's a great, but the substitutions are just, they leave you scratching your head sometimes, and that was a big case last night.
And if you're Brandon Carlson, you got to be thinking, you're fighting for a contract, you're putting everything on the floor, and you're doing good, but then you're not getting rewarded for it. You got your second 10-day contract, but realistically, you want a multi-year deal. You want to be part of this team. But what else can you do?
Really.
I think he'll get something. Surely he'll get something. You can't have a guy walk into the game and hit threes like he does, a high percentage, and have a big plus on the plus-minus rating. I haven't checked, but I don't know what his plus-minus is, but I think it's decently positive. It's plus 2.8. But that game is +6. In the Caps game, it was plus, I'm sure. Every game he just comes in there. He's not a big time player. And I get a lot of people are saying it because of the hype. I get it. He's hyped up and this and that. But legitimately, thinking about it it's not that, he should be in the starting lineup, put him out there and this and that. No, just give him a few more minutes and see what he's made of.
Yes.
That's all we're asking. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
It will show a lot. And instead of 4 minutes, you give him 8-10 minutes, it will show a lot.
Yes. And worst case scenario, okay, you give him extra minutes, 10, 12 minutes a game. He plays poorly for a week straight, 2 weeks straight, you lower his minutes.
Yeah, then you know.
It's not going to cost, I mean, it's not going to be the kind of thing that's completely going to cost us a game. I mean,
yeah, and that's
it's
what
just
I'm
frustrating.
saying. You won't have the chance to do that when
Mhm.
iHeart and Chick come back. You're not going to have that
Exactly.
chance. So why
Exactly.
aren't you using it right now?
Yes,
It
and
doesn't make sense.
he feels like the kind of player, I don't want to over exaggerate it. He feels like the kind of player that we're going to see. We lose him, he goes to a team, he gets good minutes, and he ends up being pretty dang good. And that's going to suck. I mean, that's going to really be, it's going to feel like, I mean, that was kind of an ongoing thing that people used to say about the Thunder. We had Sabonis, we had Oladipo, we had these guys who went on to become stars. I don't want that to come back because we're not
Harden.
giving a guy minutes. Harden, I don't, that's
Ty Jerome.
scary.
Ty Jerome.
Technically, yes.
Ty Jerome.
I mean, yeah, he's actually been solid. But it's just, you don't want that to be the case with a guy like Brandon Carlson, who it's not like those other guys where we actually had a reason to trade them. This is a situation where Brandon Carlson is literally a need that we have, and we're not doing anything about it. Like, we need a center. He is a 7-foot stretch 5. Why is he not getting minutes? It's just, I really hope that doesn't happen where we lose him and he ends up becoming a really rotational piece. That would be unfortunate.
And I've noticed the way he spaces the corner, it creates a lot of space for like primary ball handlers like Shea. When he's on the floor, it allows them to get to the bucket. And if it's not there, they can kick it out to him, and he's typically open.
And what's really good with that is that if he's on the perimeter, a guard has to switch onto him. But that means he gets all the rebounds real easy because he's 7 feet.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a big on him, then that's a wide open 3. So he's a walking mismatch pretty much.
And even if the guard comes out to the perimeter, he's shooting over him. So
yeah. I mean,
no explanation there.
Yeah, for sure. I think just for the sake of the episode, we should probably wrap up for this topic. But I mean, just to kind of recap what we were saying, just questionable substitutions. Carlson deserves more minutes. I mean, I think we can all agree it's just a lack of subbing there at the end that kind of threw us off, and maybe some inconsistent decision making from Lou Dort there, unfortunately. But it's all right.
You're a vet, man.
I was gonna say, that's all right.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to hear
good.
opinions on what we're saying from our viewers, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They got to tell us if we're wrong, if we're right. So
yeah, if you guys think that we're just full of it, let us know. If you agreed, same thing. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into the next one, which is we're gonna go ahead and predict what we think will happen with the next game. We take on Portland. So does anybody want to kick that one off?
I can start with this. I think it's a total trap game, in my opinion. I know it sounds easy, Portland, but they've just blew out the Magic. I know the Magic are a terrible 3-point shooting team, but after a loss like this, it can either go two ways. We blow them out and get back on track, or we just get into a hole. So, me personally, I'm a little scared going into this game, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you make sense. Like I definitely agree. I like the phrase used there, a trap game. I would agree that trap game's a good word. I'm leaning pretty heavy to we're gonna blow them out. And the reason I say that, we have responded to adversity this season. I mean, we have had some unfortunate losses, and the next game we come out and show what we should have done. So like, I hate to get us all hyped up and be like, "Nah, we're gonna blow them out," and then have something like catastrophic happen. But I really do think we handle this. I think we win by at least 15. I mean, I don't fear the Blazers. This is gonna sound so bad if we end up losing, but I don't. I just don't fear them. So
I'd like to carry off of what you're saying there. I actually don't enjoy the term trap game at all. I think that trap game, that only happens to teams that aren't good. I think we are good enough that there will never be a trap game. There will never be a trap game. I know it happens. Some games are closer. This Oklahoma City Thunder team is better than most, and this game, it's not going to be close. I agree with Gabe. We respond to adversity every single time. Every time there's a loss, there's an injury, we come back and prove that we are the best team in the NBA, and I think they will do so on Sunday. And I think that's it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I get that, but we also got short bet Spurs, so that was
that was
without
unfortunate.
That is true.
Well, and that's the other thing is really at the end of the day, we got to realize like it sounds like a cliche, but anybody can beat anyone, and any team
they're in the NBA for a reason.
Yes, any team can have a night where they just outplay the best team in the league. That can happen.
What's our update?
I do have to remind you that the last time we played them, we only beat them by 10.
True, I'll give you that, but we didn't come off of. To me, that wasn't coming off of a loss that we absolutely should have won.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. What's our update on iHeart? I know he's coming back. Is he coming back Sunday or?
I believe he'll be available, but I could be completely wrong. But I thought
if he's available, this game's over. If he's available, this game's over in the first half.
Seeing out, let me check.
If we don't have iHeart, they do have 8.
They do have, that is true. However,
Rob Williams and Donovan Clingan.
He's bigger than anybody we got.
I'm also not terribly concerned about most of those guys. I mean, I do think, okay, Ayton's solid. And I know size is a big thing, but our small ball lineup can be very good. I mean,
I'd be a little bit more nervous about Clingan than Ayton. Clingan's actually been playing pretty solid. If you watch the games, he's there. You could you feel his presence there. Yeah.
He's also an absolute giant. I mean, that guy is not just height. He uses his size well. Yeah. But as for, I mean, I definitely agree. Like having Hart, obviously, very obvious statement. Having Hart feel much better makes sense. If we don't have him, I mean, I really still think overall we end up pulling off the win. But it'll be an interesting game for sure. I hope, I pray we do have Hart, but I think it'll just be. Like me and Joe were saying, response to adversity. That's the biggest thing. We've done it all. We've done it all year. I mean, granted, we've only lost a handful of games, but I'd much rather have that be the case. But we've responded. I think we'll respond here. I just hope.
I mean, obviously, I think we'll win, but I just think we can't go into it thinking we'll win and thinking this is the Portland Trailblazers. We got to just play like a normal game.
Not show up, but they're a decent team. I mean,
there's a lot of teams like that.
Simons.
Yeah. He's averaging like 20 points. He's having a good season.
He'll hit a clutch 3 like it's nothing. I mean, step back, 30-footer, doesn't matter. That game, he's good. And then, like I said, they got Aiden. They got Shaden Sharp.
Yeah,
good players. Henderson hasn't been as good.
I was just about to say.
But,
however,
he's not bad either.
He's been hot.
Yes, he's been hot. That's what I was gonna say. Scoot's been having some good games. Yeah, so it's like we're not playing the Wizards here. I mean, it's a team that we can be concerned about, but I feel good. I'm thinking we end up on top.
Yeah, not too much concern.
Yeah. Landon, you have something?
I think if they draft right, they have a good foundation right now with what they have currently with Sharp, Scoot, Clingan. Mm-hmm. They have some guys. They just kind of need that guy like their Shea.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
They're gonna have an opportunity to do so too, though. I mean, you could also move Simons. I know he's been great, but teams like that, you have to move players like that. You keep Scoot, you keep Clingan, keep Sharp. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's pieces there. It reminds me of when we were moving people around, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Just be the better team. Just be the number 1 seed in the West, and just beat them. That's it.
Yep. Just to kind of maybe like round off this segment here, we could all go through and maybe say one specific thing you want to see from the game tomorrow. So, like, for example, one thing I would like to see Kaysen have a consistent offensive night. Just take shots when he needs to. I'd like him to have a pretty consistent offensive game. That's one simple thing I'd like to see.
Well, I would love to see OKC take care of business at the start. Don't make it a close game.
Yes.
First, just rest Shea fourth quarter, that kind of game, you know.
Yep.
That's
for sure.
The only thing I want to see.
For sure.
And Brandon Carlson minutes, of course.
That too. Landon.
More Carlson, more Caruso, and a Thunder blowout would be nice. I also want to bring up a point. I did some digging. The last time the Thunder lost to the Trailblazers was April 3rd, 2021. So we do have their numbers. So I hope that streak can continue.
I am knocking on wood.
And right there is the jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back to this. Clip it. Clip it.
Nope. I'm gonna say it again. This team is too good for jinxes. This is real life, okay? This team, what I want to see is I want to see Thunder defense, 90 points or less, for Portland, and just like Jack said, no Shea in the fourth quarter. Take it home. That's it. Just win the damn game.
Yep.
But 90 points or less.
Oh, sorry. Yep, for sure. Joey, what do you got?
I think a big key to success is one of our shooters who I'm going to say it, Lou Dort. I mean, I know I praise the guy a lot, but it seems like when he's knocking down his shots, because they tend to leave him open a little bit, which I understood 2 years ago, but now he's a decent
not this
shooter.
year. Yeah.
Not this year, but when he's hitting his shots, it's not close. He had 19 points in one win, 20 points the next win last week, and it was blowouts. But then he had like very low points, which we still won. But against these better teams, when he gets hot, no matter what team it is. And I think if you look back, if he's shooting good from three, I don't know we've lost a game where he's shooting really good from three like he does. When he'll randomly just go 5 for 8 or whatever he does, where he's just knocking down 3-pointers, drops 15 plus points. When he does that, it's not close. It's always an easy cruise to him. So I think we need Lou Dort to step up, hit some big shots, and just our other guys should just make sure they do their job.
Yeah.
I don't want to, interrupt or extend, but I have to say one last thing off of what Joey just said. If Lou's not hitting, right? Why is Kaysen on the floor next to him then? Yeah. Now, I don't want to bring it back to the last segment, but
no, you're right.
Like when Lou's hitting, Joey said it. We're up by 20. We don't need 2 Lou's on the floor.
Nope. No,
sorry to bring it back, but
no, I think you're
just had to say it.
Very, very valid point. Yeah.
Yeah, you're making sense for sure. I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, well, I mean, I think we'll go ahead and hit our last segment here, which is just kind of like discussing the expectations for this podcast, just kind of what to expect in the future, where we're going to go with it. I think as of now, our plan is to have 2 consistently posted episodes weekly. We're going to work on the specific time, specific night, all that fun stuff with different time zones and everything, just getting all that figured out. But we will be posting we have multiple different platforms we're posting on. We have Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, just posting as much as we can across all those different platforms. We're also going to be able to get multiple episodes in which we have guests who are other content creators, big fans, maybe a couple popular fans from OKC games. We'll see if we can grab some of those. And hopefully, I mean, our goal is to bring you guys the best content, and that would be getting players. I mean, big goal. Set your expectations high. That's what we're doing here. Yep. We are setting our expectations high. As I said in the beginning, I mean, this podcast, this is for fans, by fans. At the end of the day, we're all just fans. We want the best quality we can get. And grabbing a player would certainly bring you guys some quality content that I don't think other pages are getting out. So that's kind of just our goal, is to give you guys the highest level of content we can get. So if anybody else wants to throw something in there, go ahead.
Fan interaction's the biggest thing for this podcast to be successful. Like people you want us to feature on here. Basically. People you want us to feature on here. Also, like suggestions, like things you want us to talk about.
Yeah, different segments.
Yes, for sure. Jack,
I'm
you
sure
want to add something? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Joe.
No.
Totally
just with the podcast, our expectations, we're going to take this somewhere. Like, this is going to be something, and you guys are coming along with the journey, but we're going to work hard, and it's going to be Instagram, TikTok, interviews, everything.
For sure.
It's just episode 1, but
and just a bunch of diehard fans. That's all we are, guys. Just like you guys. So
exactly. Well, I mean, if everybody's good with where we just ended there, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the episode. But make sure you guys check out all the other socials that we mentioned. We'll have Reels, the full YouTube video of this episode on Spotify, TikTok, all that fun stuff. Just make sure you guys tune in. Like Landon said, very reliant on getting interaction from you guys. I mean, while it is us making the episodes, we're doing it for us, but also for you guys. We want to hear what you guys have to say. So fan interaction, love it. I mean, we're no higher than you guys either. So shoot us messages, shoot us comments. We're not going to ignore them. We're higher.
looking for 'em.
We're not higher. Exactly. We're going to do our best to respond and try to be professional about it all. But yeah, I mean, we just really appreciate you guys listening to the episode, and make sure you guys put any feedback you want. So thanks guys, and thunder up.